Okay, so well, okay, good afternoon, good evening, whatever. Like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, stuff like that. Yeah, so you've probably seen on the thumbnail, or you've seen the title of the video that says the Venetia 2 dashboard has been released. So you're probably wondering what exactly the Venetia 2 dashboard is. So basically, the Venetia 2 dashboard was supposed to be a marketing strategy. I can say for one of the games I was working on, Roadman Blockman. Yeah, it was supposed to basically be something of like a launcher. Yeah, a launcher that you pass through to access Roadman Blockman. Yeah, just for advertisement purposes. Yeah, advertisement purposes and stuff, marketing purposes, stuff like that. But since I was taking too long to finish Roadman Blockman, so I decided to make the Venetia 2 dashboard a standalone project on its own. And yeah, just to practice, learn more about GameMaker 8.1, and see how I'll maybe implement it in future games. Yeah, so with that said, let me introduce you to the dashboard. Yeah, so in the Venetia 2 dashboard, there's 3 games, just G1, G2, G3. Yeah, these games I just decided to add them in the dashboard for practice purposes. Yeah, it's either I was practicing for features I want to implement in future games, and seeing how I can better implement them. Yeah, so the Venetia 2 dashboard, as you can see, when you open it, it's just this colorless screen with this colorless screen that says Venetia 2. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, yeah, so it's just this black and white screen that says Venetia 2 dash, which stands for dashboard. Yeah, so you can just click to start. You can click either left, right, or you can mouse click on the Venetia 2 window, just like that, and you wait for maybe 5 seconds, and it will load up.
Welcome to the Venetia 2 dashboard.
Yeah, when it loads up.
Welcome to the Venetia 2 dashboard. Navigate the dashboard with left, right, enter to select,
basically.
backspace to go
So
back.
here there's back.
Thank you for joining. Ascend above all.
Back, G1, G2, G3, about, exit. Yeah, so back basically just takes you to the same home screen, I can see.
Welcome to the Venetia 2 dashboard.
Yeah, the home screen. Then G1, G2, G3, this is where the games are housed, and about. It just shows information about Venetia 2, or me basically, and my future plans or something. Yeah, as you can see, the UI is very, it looks very, I don't know, I find it very pleasing. Yeah, it was just something of a practicing. Yeah, something I did while practicing, and I just came up with the same UI. The glowing rainbow, stuff like that. It looks very nice. Looks very good. Please give me a hand for that. No UI designer is doing stuff like this in the world. Yeah, so G1, there's G1, G2, G3. These are basically the games. Yeah, so in G1, for G1, I wouldn't really consider it a game. I guess it is a game, but it doesn't really have an end goal. It's just one of those things that maybe you can play endlessly, like it doesn't have a score system, it doesn't have an end goal, it doesn't have anything. Just a flying ship. Yeah, a flying ship that can shoot, it can drop bombs. You can switch engine. There's a table, which has a very good effect that applies like motion blur and chromatic aberration to the UI, including the ship, makes it a bit yellow. Yeah, which adds to that effect of you moving at a bit of hyperspeed, I can say. Yeah, which looks very good. If you want, you can make some art with it. Drop bombs, make some patterns. Some patterns that you would like. You can blow up planets. When you shoot asteroids, it makes this cool explosion effect, and also creates some debris. Yeah, debris that just floats away. Yeah, which looks very, very good. Yeah, you can also detonate the bombs you leave, stuff like that. The camera wraps around. Yeah, the room's not that big, so the world, I can say the world wraps around, like all 4 directions, left, right, up, down. Yeah, but apart from that, there's nothing special about the game. It was just something of practice. Yeah, something I just did while I was bored. Yeah, and basically it turned out like pretty okay, even though it's not really like a game, doesn't really have mechanics, but I like how it came out. It's just one of those things you can play when you're bored and stuff. Yeah. So moving on to G2. G2 is basically just a battle simulator. Okay, at first it started out as me trying to make a battle simulator, but the mechanics became too, I can say, complex, like for the battle simulator. So I just decided to turn it into a rock paper scissors game. Yeah, rock paper scissors game. The difficulty wasn't really that much. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't really that difficult, but like, yeah, it only gave me a few problems, such as maybe giving incorrect results. Like at first, there's a time when it started giving me incorrect results. Don't know why. Yeah, but I managed to fix the issue. My PC crashed here and there, but it wasn't really that bad of a thing. But yeah, it's just a simple rock paper scissors game. I also did all the art in this game myself. Uh, as you can see, which is playing rock paper scissors with the android. The android that's about to take over the world, and the only way to save the world is through rock paper scissors game. You know, yeah, stuff like that. He's the last man in the universe, and that's basically the sentient android which takes over the world, and the only way to save the world is through a rock paper scissors game. So yeah, there's this cool losing screen. The pictures of the characters change like according to their health. When the health is below 40, it tends to that. When it's below 10, it also tends to that. When it's below 0, that's when you actually lose. Yeah, when it's at 0, you don't lose. You can still play. You have a chance to redeem yourself. But yeah, this is the rock paper scissors game which I created. They're very simple. Then G3, the last final and my favorite of them all, which is the avatar creator. Yeah, the avatar creator is okay. In one of the games I'm planning to make in the future, it's supposed to have an avatar creator. Yeah, an avatar creator where you can create a character, choose their weapons, maybe choose their fighting styles or something, and those things are supposed to like actively affect the game. Yeah, they're supposed to actively affect the game. So yeah, like for this one, I can say it was the longest. Okay, not really the hardest, but the longest of them all. I can say for this one, the most challenging part was only, yeah, I can say the part that consumed the most time was making the actual assets, like the clothes, the faces, the stuff like that. But I can say the most challenging part was maybe the color picker. Yeah, because at first I wanted to create like an individual object for each color. Yeah, I wanted to create an individual object for each color. Then when you click, it turns the clothes, yeah, that are currently active. Yeah, it turns the clothes that are currently active into like whatever color you picked, but that didn't work. So I had to like write a code that basically turns the object into, like, just create one object, then turn it into an array that I can say uses points on an. Okay, I just okay, I created one object, then turned it into an array. So each time you click on the object, the object detects in which square you're currently in. Then it turns the clothes into that. It turns the clothes into the color under that. Yeah, but basically I had to implement that manually because I don't know how to do that. Like, or if GameMaker 8.1 can do that like for you, so I had to implement the colors manually. Yeah, but other than that, I can say like everything else was very easy. Yeah, I just had to. Yeah, I also implemented most of this using code instead of the visual programming aspect of GameMaker. So which was kind of a good learning experience, I can say. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting learning experience. So you can make characters like Goku, if you want, you can make female Goku. You can make who's this? Dora the Explorer and stuff like that. Yeah, which is a very, I can say, very fun little project. Yeah, then the last part of the dashboard is basically just the exit button. Yeah, when you exit the game, it does that, which is, yeah. Okay, so that's the Venetia dashboard for you. Yeah, like apart from looking cool, the Venetia dashboard doesn't really have a use, I can say, because if you wanted, you can just go to straight to the games you want to play, like manually, in case of having to go through the dashboard, then select G1, G2, or G3. Yeah, so apart from marketing and stuff, the dashboard really doesn't really have like a good use. Yeah, so that's it. To quick exit just does this, just displays this, which I thought would look kind of pretty, I can say, which I think would look kind of pretty, like just to at least show you something after you exit. Thank you for playing as in the above all. Yeah, so yeah, I feel it's been quite a learning experience. you know it's been quite a learning experience working on these games, and obviously they are not perfect, but I was going under the what's this under the approach of make it exist and make it better later, which means I might improve on some of the games, I might not improve on some of the games, but the avatar creator, I'm definitely thinking of improving on it in the future, maybe making a standalone application for it, yeah, and stuff like that. So yeah, think that's all. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. And thank you for watching. Go and check out the dashboard on h.io. I think I'll leave a link in the description down below. Yeah, Venetia 2 dashboard. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Go check out the dashboard. I really appreciate your feedback. And thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.